Good morning, meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with today's tropical update for Monday, August 29, 2011. Well, Irene has now moved out of the picture, although leaving behind a lot of flooding. Still, we're going to have reports of really pretty big catastrophic flooding, especially across Vermont and the upstate of New York. Catskill regions got hit hard as well. But now our attention really turns way out in the Atlantic, in the eastern Atlantic, where we have our newly formed tropical depression number 12. We also have Jose out there, but Jose's done pretty much. Never really, I don't even know why they named it, but that's for another day, another story. But anyway, our attention will turn out to tropical depression 12, and let's kind of close in. Here's the latest advisory as of 5 a.m. We have maximum sustained winds at 35, movement to the west at 15, minimum central pressure 1,009 millibars, and it's about 380 miles to the south-southwest of the Cape Verde Islands here. Here's the official forecast track. This is the 5-day track, and conditions are pretty favorable as we move farther west with this system, west-northwest. Should see a tropical storm Katia. Not looking like today. I'll show you a little bit of easterly shear today. That's probably going to keep it from becoming a tropical storm, but probably by tomorrow we should see our tropical storm Katia. And then the official forecast by the National Hurricane Center does have this becoming a hurricane by about Wednesday night, Thursday. And then again, this only goes out 5 days here, so our focus at first will be, will it affect the islands? And I'll show you some of the models and my thoughts here in a minute. I'm closing in here on our system, and you can see we have that easterly shear, so most of the convection is to the west of the center of circulation, which is right about here. And again, waters will progressively get warmer as we go west, and also the shear is going to lessen, especially right in this area here where the forecast track is here out in about 2 to 3 days. So we should see the system slowly getting organized. Another really big system coming off Africa, and a great cyclonic turning here, and we'll just have to get away from this easterly shear, and we should be able to really start cranking this system up as it moves west. The bigger picture here, we see tropical depression 12 starting to come into view here. This was what was left of the remnants of tropical depression 10, which honestly has looked better than Jose. Nothing much out here, pretty much Caribbean, nothing out here. This was kind of remnants of that old trough here out in the western Atlantic, kind of parts of Jose left behind. Nothing in the western Gulf yet, but that could be an area we might want to watch for some type of development here towards the end of the week. Good news for Texas, the Gulf of Mexico is going to open up for them, and boy, this drought finally could start starting to get some rain here across Texas by the end of the week. And again, we might want to watch for a system possibly developing here in the western Gulf of Mexico. Okay, looking at the water vapor loop, and here's a few things that are going to steer tropical depression 12 in the near term. You see this mid to upper level low starting to sink down to the southwest. This is going to give tropical depression 12 or tropical storm Katia that little move to the west-northwest. This system is going to be the key as to whether Katia misses the islands or not. If there's enough weakness created by this mid to upper level low, then the system's going to move this way. And also, again, depends on the strength of our system. As we all know, a weaker system will move farther west, stronger system will move farther north. The unknown is how strong Katia will be in this area yet. So we don't know that yet. But this is going to be, watch the evolution of how strong Katia gets and this upper level, mid to upper level low here retrograding through the central Atlantic. And that's going to be the factors as whether it misses the islands. Now past the islands, there's going to be a couple other factors involved, whether it misses the United States or not. I'll show you those on the model runs here in a minute. There's our easterly shear this morning, about 15 to 20 knots over our system. If we look at the shear farther to the west, as this upper level system here in the central Atlantic backs to the west, this higher shear will stay north of Katia, and we will have this little window of lower shear here to its west-northwest that Katia will be tapping into. And again, slow to steady strengthening for Katia as she moves west-northwest. Steering flow right now is pretty much west, but again, watch the evolution of this mid to upper level system as it backs to the west-southwest. It's going to open up this little bit of weakness here, and that could push Katia more towards the west-northwest and miss the islands. Again, down the road, this steering layer isn't for past 6-7 days out. There's going to be other things that are going to be steering this system once it gets past the islands, and I'll show you that on the model. So don't be concerned about what this looks now. I'm just showing you for the next 3 to 4 to 5 days, this is where our steering is going to be coming from. Okay, model runs. Current models here. This is the this line. I'll show you these again. I try to go over this with everybody. You know, we see a bunch of lines here like, what the heck is all this? The official National Hurricane Center track is right here. And then the blocked, as you see here, the TVCN, these blocks right here, the black blocks, that's the model consensus. You can see, especially when systems are this far out, 9 times out of 10, the National Hurricane Center is going with consensus. And that's basically where they're at now with their track. Farther out, you see these lines here. This is always on this, at least on this model picture here, are actually some of the GFS consensus models. The main GFS model, the operational run, has this moving towards Bermuda, but some of the consensus models lie west. It's going to be the same thing with the Euro when I show you the Euro model here in a second. Euro model has it heading towards Bermuda as well, but a lot of the consensus in the forecast are farther west as well. So again, a lot of ifs with this forecast right now, but the general trend and the general forecast right now is this to go north of the islands, but still a little too early for that and for me to really call that one way or the other right now. Hopefully in the next couple days I could really pinpoint that and say, yes, this is definitely going to miss the islands. And here is the Euro. Now you saw yesterday with the Euro was more west near just east of the Bahamas. This is now, we're going back farther, a day farther out in the period now. This is for Thursday, for Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and it is starting to make that hook towards Bermuda and possibly, you know, affecting, will this affect Canada down the road again? We don't know. Too far out, but more in line now with the GFS as it shows that low pressure system developing near Bermuda, creating that weakness, and then we're also going to have another front moving off the east coast at the same time as well, a little bit after that. So more in line with the GFS in the long term right now. And we'll just show you the GFS model here. We're going to run this, and here we go. So Tropical Depression 12, Katia strengthening. Then we see this weakness here developing near Bermuda. It catches that weakness, and then also we have another front coming off the east coast. Eventually again moving towards Canada with this system. So right now the long-range models, the Euro and the GFS, do show this heading towards Bermuda, possibly affecting Canada. Again, it's going to be the evolution of this low-pressure system here. Again, it's going to be 3 things with this system to really push it on its way possibly out to sea. Evolution of our upper-level system here, that's going to create that weakness that'll bring this system north of the islands. Then another weakness area of low pressure near Bermuda, and then finally a front off the east coast. Those 3 things in tandem is going to try to push this system north of the islands and out to sea. And again, the fly in the ointment always is how strong will this system be. That's the unknown. Again, weaker system farther west, you know the routine. Another thing to watch, if we back through this GFS one more time, moisture building up in the western Caribbean. I mean the western Gulf of Mexico. Look at this. We see green over Texas. Could you believe it? Haven't seen that in a while. And a possibility of a disturbance possibly developing in the western Gulf by the end of the week into the weekend. Possible. not much model noise with that right now, but again, just something to keep a little eye on. If anything, boy, that would be welcome relief for Texas if this could be a nice, wet, tropical storm and just bring this right up into Texas. We would love that. But the fact of the matter is high pressure is moving away. Gulf of Mexico's opening. Texas, you're going to get your rain by the end of the week, thankfully. Last but not least, we have HWRF, and here we go. And you could see again, hurricane in a few days, starting to push north of the islands, and here's that evolution again in about 5 days or so of low pressure near Bermuda, trying to create that weakness and the escape path for Katia. And again, will that happen? Will that not happen? Long way out. Again, my thinking is with this system, again, this is a long way out, just my kind of gut instinct and seeing the way the models have been handling things in the pattern is that the system could move farther west down the road. Now, does that mean it goes between Bermuda and the United States, affects Canada, Bermuda? I'm just saying that I think eventually this is going to come a little farther west right now than the models are showing. Long way out. We'll have more as the week goes along, especially for those of you living along the islands there. Keep your eye on this system. Keep a watchful eye. We'll see what happens. If you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Robert, ACANFRIO. And I do have my blog at weatherunderground.com. Post some stuff in there from time to time. Have a good Monday, and I'll have another update for you guys tomorrow morning.